You special and she reckless. Remember, you're my bestest friend. Yeah, she my bestie.
Hey love, so I wanted to upload an in-depth knotless box braid tutorial that really takes you guys behind the scenes, that includes my setup, the tools and products I use, my technique in the cleanup for these knotless box braids. This is how I do my own hair in the comfort of my own home, so hopefully you all find this helpful. Let's get started by gathering all of the materials, and also I like to take a fresh shower just to make sure I'm fresh for the day. So when I'm in my creation mode and I really just want to freshen up the space, freshen up the mood, I like to go ahead and light a candle. So that's what you see me doing here. So now we're going to dive into my setup as far as installing the box braids on my own. I like to use this square mirror in front so I can see what's going on in front of me. And then I use this big long back mirror to see what's in back. All right, so in this section, we're going to cover the tools and products I use. So I use this wooden tool here to hold the braiding hair in place and to separate the individual sections of braiding hair. I'm also going to be using this shine and gem throughout all of the sections of my hair to make it sleek and shine. I'm also going to be using this edge booster on my edges. All right, and then we're going to use this shine and mist to pretty much just finish up the style. All right, and then here are a bunch of tools you should already be familiar with. They're really going to help me perfect the style and really complete it to my desire. And yeah, so I'm going to utilize all of these tools within this process. So take note of all of them because you may be just reaching for them throughout this process. Okay, so for the hair, when it comes to box braids, I really like to make sure I go with a brand that is pre-layered and pre-stretched already. So here's an up-close view of the card. As you can see, there are 4 bundles included, and this is more than enough hair to complete this entire look. I did go ahead and add some highlights in that I had laying around as well, so you will see me put those in from time to time. But yeah, this is how all 3 bundles look lined up. Next, we're going to get into preparing the individual braiding strands. So of course, with knotless box braids, 3 strands are needed to complete 1 entire braid. So here I like to start off with a smaller strand first and then a medium strand, and then we're going to reach for the larger strand. All right, so pretty much just go from small, then we're going to grab the medium and then the large to complete 1 individual braid. All right, so I'm starting off with just freshly washed hair that has been lightly blow dried. And what I like to do when it comes to parting the individual sections and spacing, I like to use the shine and gem throughout the duration of this entire hairstyle. It's really going to help me to clean up the parts, and it gives me a visual on whether my parts are straight or not. Now, I'm not striving for perfection, but I am striving to pretty much just clean this part up as much as possible, and the shine and gem just really aids in that process. All right, so you're going to continue to see me use this product as I am creating this entire look. And I'm going to go through just a couple of times to make sure the part is straight. And that's why you want to have a mirror in front and a mirror in back, because you want to be able to see both sides. And of course, when we're starting off with this first section, it's right below the top of the ears. All right, so once we're satisfied with that section, we can move on to parting our very first section in back. So initially I wanted 4 sections in back because I was going to do the box braids a little smaller, but throughout the style I actually ended up doing bigger sections than I initially started off doing here in back. So you'll see at the end of this tutorial that the sections will start off a little small and then they'll get a little bit bigger because I wanted medium-sized braids, and that's just how the style ended up going. It all came together in the end, so you're just going to see me continuing to clean up this part, of course. And once I am satisfied, we're going to start off with the individual knotless braids. We're going to comb it up just a little bit and we're going to start creating our sections. Following my method, I'm going to use the shine and gem just to clean up the parts. And we're going to create 4 sections here in back. All right, and when you use the shine and gem, just go ahead and twist up those sections in your fingers so that you can actually visually see all 4 sections, and this will help you speed up the process of creating this entire hairstyle. All right, so there are the 4 sections. Okay, so now we're getting into the good stuff. I'm going to show you the box braid technique for the knotless box braids. And this is how I accomplish it on my 4C hair. Of course, it has been blown out, but to add a little bit more sleekness and a little bit more shine, I like to use the shine and gem just to complete the look and then comb through with the tail comb. All right, so next we're ready to start the knotless box braid. So I'm going to start off like a normal braid. So first I'm going to create 3 sections with my fingers, and then you're going to see me cross it over like you would with a normal braid. So just like you're braiding your own hair, we're going to cross it over once and then another time. Now we're going to reach for the individual braiding hair. So I'm going to position it in my fingers like so, and we're going to grab it with one at the top, one at the bottom, cross it over twice, 1 and 2. Make sure you're pressing on it tight to make sure that stays in place and close to the roots. And then you're just going to feed in that next section just like so. Again, positioning one at the top and one at the bottom, and then crossing it over once, twice. And then this is the largest strand that you're pulling for here. And of course, you're going to position it the same way, feed it in the same way, positioning one at the top and one at the bottom, and then crossing it over once and then twice. All right, so the style is set from here, and then you can just go ahead and braid it down. Now I did notice with this particular braiding hair, with it being my first time using it, it was tangled quite a bit, so I did have to remove a couple of tangles throughout this process. And then of course, with me doing my own hair, it is a little bit time consuming, but I don't mind a kinkier textured hair. It's just a little bit of work to get through the tangles, but once you get through it, you are able to complete the style from root to tip. All right, so the focus here is on getting out the tangles and really just completing this braid, because you're going to see in just a moment, once I've braided it down just a little bit, I'm actually going to throw it over my shoulder and complete the braid. All right, so the focus here shifts to my natural hair. I want to make sure I tuck it in. So I am squeezing a little bit hard as I am formulating these braids. And once I get past my natural hair, I loosen up a little bit. But while I'm still trying to tuck my natural hair, I'm going to apply some shine and gem a little bit to get these ends to be secured in the braids. And then we're just going to continue to braid it down. All right, and use your tail comb if you need to, just to smooth out your own natural hair, and then just continue to braid. All right, so at this point, I am done securing my natural hair. So I'm speeding up the video a little bit because now the process just flows to where I can go ahead and braid my hair all the way down. And I do like to kind of put it into my mouth just to make sure that I can keep tension on the braid as I am continuing to braid all the way to the ends. All right, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat this process one more time just so you can get a better view of this process. So I'm going to take you through my process once more just so you can get the hang of this entire technique. So I'm just smoothing some shine and gem throughout that section. Once again, especially if you have a kinkier texture, it's really just going to help keep all of those flyaways in place. Just don't add too much because it can make the hair slip a little bit, and you want to be able to grab the roots and really make sure that hair is pressed up against your root. Not too tight, but not too loose. All right, so once again, we're going to start to formulate the braid like normal with our natural hair, crossing it over twice. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and take our pointing finger and our thumb, and we're going to receive that strand in, one at the top, one at the bottom, and then just cross it over once, and then another time. And then using our pointing finger and our thumb again, we're going to receive the medium strand, one at the top, one at the bottom, and then just cross it over once, twice, and hopefully at this point you've gotten the hang of this entire process, and just continue to feed in that very last section, which is the largest section, once and then twice. Once you lock it in, you're pretty much good to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in a highlight here. So we're really just imitating the same process once we get out this tangle here, and we're going to feed in that highlight just to create some dimension in the hair. And you know, I just wanted a little touch of color, so here I'm going ahead and adding in the highlight. It's very thin, and it's just a little peak of color to finish off this little braid here. All right, so just braid it in like normal. And then I'm just throwing it over my shoulder to go ahead and complete the style. So that's pretty much the gist of how to complete knotless box braids in the comfort of your own home. Definitely rewind this technique if you guys have any questions, but I'm going to go ahead and just complete this roll here, and then we're just going to work on finishing up this entire look. All right, so here is just a visual of that first section and how I've completed those 3 rolls. And I'm gonna go ahead and just complete this section. As you can see here, I've already prepped some sections with the shine and gem, and I've got 2 rolls ready to receive some braiding hair. All right, so once I've completed those 3 rolls up above, I'm gonna finish off that last roll as well, but I just wanted to show you guys this process and my progress so far. Okay, so once the entire install is complete, we can move into the boiling process. I boil some hot water for about 5 to 7 minutes in the microwave, and I'm going to use that to seal my ends. I'm also going to use this towel just to protect my body from any of this hot water. So I'm going to take this ponytail out. I also laid my edges with that edge booster as well, if you're curious to see what's along my edges. All right, so I'm gonna dip the hair in and only the ends in for about a minute or 2, and that should pretty much go ahead and seal the ends. Now just be careful with this process because you can definitely burn yourself, so just make sure you have that towel nearby to go ahead and scoop up the hair and really squeeze out all of that liquid as much as possible. And this is pretty much how the ends look at the end. All right, I wanted to show you an up-close view of the highlights, so here it is. All right, so let's finish up this process by cleaning up and misting my scalp. I showed you what I used, and this is going to help add some moisture and oil my scalp. All right, once you're done massaging that in, this is the finished look. So of course I used a brick pattern for this entire process, and this is how my hair looks in the back. It came out just as I imagined it would be. This is how long the length is, and this is just a view of the completed look. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below, and I will talk to you guys in my next one. Bye guys.